Welcome back, guys. Another day on our homestead, and I've got another project to do. The other day I was working with my backhoe and I broke it, and now it's time to fix it. Hang out for a minute, we'll get this thing all fixed up again. So I'm out plowing around on my acreage here, trying to clean it up, scrape brush into big piles, get all the fallen dead trees scraped into piles so I can burn them all off this winter. And I hear a big bang, loud bang. And I knew exactly what it was. It was high tension steel snapping. There's only one sound like it. Once you hear it once, you'll remember it. And part of my bucket that I was scraping stuff with, I hit a stump and it snapped it clean off. Now the welds, you can see, the welds that hold this big piece of high strength steel on, they're not very solid welds, and it looked like a few of them had broken a long time ago, leaving all the tension on this little piece here. As soon as it caught and put a little bind in it, it doesn't bend, it snaps. So we've got to weld this back together to make my bucket so I can scrape nice straight lines again without having a big groove on one side. Dig the welder out from way back there. Get the generator here going, get some power to it, get this thing cleaned up and welded up. So I think there's going to be some organizational videos in the future. I'll go through this place and get it fixed up so I can work out of it. It's a mess right now. So we've got the welder out and hooked up, got the gas hooked up to it. We got to get all this stuff out of the way though, all this dirt and weeds packed in here, and then beat this metal back together, get it lined up again. So start getting this going. We got that all cleaned out, cleared out all that dirt, much as we can get. It's not going to be perfectly clean. Next thing we got to do is smash this back together. I think a big hammer will probably do the trick there. So we're going to go grab that big hammer over there, start swinging. Well, that'll work. You get all this ground down, we can make it fit in there. I'll have to grind this whole weld off, grind a little bit of this, grind a nice V in here, and a nice big V in here where it broke. This is going to take all the temper out of this blade, but I don't have another choice. So it's going to be what it is. Hopefully it keeps some of the temper, and hopefully the weld actually welds to it. Being tempered steel, it might just break right off again. But I'll be a little easier with it after I do this. This piece that's broken down here, I don't have that piece of metal. I'm going to see if I have something. It won't be as thick, but I might have something that I can weld in there to help support the bottom of it. So we'll get our grinder out and we'll dress this all up. Got a nice V in here. V this out real good so we get some good penetration. pretty good. I say we get some clamps out. Make sure it's nice and straight. And start the welding process. So for those that don't know, those of you that aren't welders, the reason you V this out, and this isn't V'd out as much as the other side. The reason you V this out, so when you weld here, your weld fills that V. Because the other side's going to be beveled also. And your weld can penetrate into the metal further. Now the side on the tractor is V'd out all the way, so this is a point. I don't want to get this piece of metal, this tempered piece of metal, super hot. That's probably why the welds were kind of crusty, kind of not so good when they welded it in the first time. They didn't want to get this piece super hot because it takes the temper out of it. But once you snap it, like is right here, you have to weld that, and you have to weld it pretty solid. You can't just bubblegum weld it. It won't work. It'll just pop right off again. Chances are it's probably going to snap again anyways, but I'm going to put a nice hot weld in there. As you can see, I've V'd this out both sides. I can weld both sides and get a nice solid weld in there. It'll take the temper out of it, but it'll still scrape smooth. And I'm hoping it'll last a while because I don't want to have to go out and buy a new blade and cut that whole blade off and put a new one on. I can only imagine these are kind of expensive. So that's why you put the V in it, is for better penetration. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to attack this spot right here real hot. And then I'm going to come back and make sure this is straight and make sure this is straight. And then I'll tack it over here in the corner real hot. And then as I go through, I might use that hammer over there to beat this hump down a little bit after I weld right there. Kind of work my way across. I'm going to weld this crack up over here in this corner. I've also got this crack over here. I'll probably clean that up and weld that up. So I found this bracket in my stash of pieces of metal that I have, just in case kind of thing. Came in pretty handy right here. Fit the spot. I had to grind a little piece out of it so it'd fit around that broken weld. But it was the same thickness as this piece and fit right in there. Trimmed it up and ground it down. Hopefully this piece stays in there. Hopefully it's nice and solid now. I didn't want to leave this open without putting a bracket there because it would have just packed dirt inside there, and having a piece of metal there makes it stronger. Well, that takes care of that. Got it all welded up. The beautiful thing about these welds, they're self-grinding welds. As you use a tractor, the dirt and the rocks, they rub across those welds and grind them perfectly smooth. Let's take a look at it. Got the top welded up, put a little bit extra over there. Come over here and I ground this out and welded some cracks up over here. And you can see where it isn't perfectly level, where the two pieces come together. I was having a hard time with this tack weld, getting this tack weld to stick. It's mild steel coming through the welder, and this is tempered steel, and they don't like to mesh together very well unless the tempered steel is really hot, which kind of takes the temper out of it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell for notifications. Smash that like button for us. Help this video get out there. Help our channel get out there. Leave a comment, even if it's just to say hello. Until next time, guys, go make something.